Mr. Sullivan. Okay. Oh, wait, I need to... Yeah, okay, we're good. All right, welcome to meeting 8, I think, of Game Development Club. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. First of all, we got some nice treats from Aiden. He brought food.
Aiden! You're the fucking coolest guy ever.
I know, right?
How many people come to the meeting?
All right.
They're like, hey, for no particular reason. So yeah. I didn't want to have an influx of people because I said I was going to bring food.
What are you saying? That's the reason you tell people you have food. More people.
That is true.
Throwing people?
Yeah.
You get something. You get something.
So throwing them at people is the perfect option.
All right. Take a napkin and eat the rest.
If you have a nut allergy, you might want to not.
Yeah, if you have a nut allergy, don't. Who's allergic to nutting? Nuts.
Are you allergic to nuts?
I mean, I'm just going to walk around.
Or Spanish peanuts? I don't know. Spanish peanuts? That's the peanuts we use for.
I said hand them out. What do you? Just zero effort. I have no idea.
It's called. It is called a Blarney Stone. It is a peanut.
It's called a what?
A Blarney Stone.
Okay.
It's Barney Stone.
Take a napkin, pass it.
It does have peanut butter.
Okay, so.
It has. It's a slice of cake.
Hey, what are you doing?
Okay, it is a slice of cake covered in frosting, covered in peanuts.
Yeah, all right, man.
I'm so for this.
You got to save one for me, because I don't want to eat at the front. I mean, I could, but I shouldn't.
I'll wait for you.
Yeah, what? How many of you eat? This is only 1/3 of Aiden's stash. He's got the rest at home that he just snacks on. He's holding out. Okay.
Hang on. I got to do something.
I can still talk while you're... Nice. All right. So yeah, the 8th meeting. I think I already mentioned that. So...
It's gone up so long.
Shit. That was a good meeting. All we did was eat? That sounds fucking awesome. All right. So we got some announcements. We have a workshop this weekend, which we haven't had in a few weeks, at least. So, shut up. So we're doing Creating Unity. I
am not prepared for this.
We're off to a good start. It's going to be a really long meeting.
We're going to make some copyright dodging versions of Unity.
Yes, and we're going to call it Together. It's going to be great. No, we're creating UI in Unity. Shut up. Okay. Again, we've been pushing this. What?
We're making Unity's UI.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds awful. That sounds like I would not go. Even if I was leading it, I wouldn't go. No. So we've been pushing this a lot, but if you have something you want to show off, absolutely tell us. We have one thing going on that we're doing a very practical example of that. Zach continuously forgets to do it. Every time. Every time. We're also doing Gamers Anonymous tonight. The topic is...
Tonight, we're going to be tackling the hard-hitting subject of journalism in video games. What about? Not really sure. We started thinking about Gamergate. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about Gamergate.
Yeah, you are.
I might talk about Gamergate. Okay, that's exactly why we talked about it.
I got used to this thing after Gamergate thing, and I can actually find it zero
it's actually spurred on by not Ryan. But
Most of them are.
It's actually spawned off the effect that Mass Effect is getting subpar reviews, and there's been a very wide range of reviews lately. So I want to talk about all the different stuff.
And that one might
Yeah,
be
right.
a bit shorter than usual.
Oh yeah, we're actually gonna end before now.
So if you want to go to that, follow Zach after the end. We'll have a little bit
Don't follow me after it.
I decided.
Don't follow me.
after the meeting.
Don't follow me after the.
Follow him on Twitter.
Follow Zach home, stalk him. You're hearing it from me. So the other thing we have is this Thursday at 7 p.m. in the Armory Studios, we're having a joint meeting with the Sketch Club. They have given us no details on that, so I'm pretty sure it's still happening. So show up, I think. We'll put stuff in Discord for exactly what's going on with that, but yeah. You'll be fine. Too bad. Go anyways. Miss work. Fuck you. Sorry. All right. So, first of all, Nate has something. So this was showcasing something. He's going to explain some of the game mechanics and pass out basically a worksheet that you can try it.
I didn't know there would be a test.
Yeah, did you study?
I did not.
You can try it either during the meeting if you just, hate me, or after.
Okay, so we'll do it right now.
Yeah, thanks. Just going to look up during my best part of my speech when I'm just the most passionate. And you guys are just going to be...
I made it today at
I love connect the dots during the meeting. Hey, you get a
What?
There's
Oh,
there's
nice.
no puns on it. I already looked. There's no puns.
There's no puns.
Hey, I just want to repeat. There's no puns.
Boo.
One.
Boo, game is bad. No puns.
H2, no puns.
Well, now there's H2 one. No. Silly Zach.
We're impeaching you again. You're not even president. We're impeaching you. Hashtag ZachGate.
Give him the mic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you probably want that.
Mikey the microphone.
How do you get this off? Oh. Yeah, well...
It's an alligator. Nom, nom, nom.
It actually just eats your face.
Give me those.
I'm not giving you my nose.
Oh, that's where the extras went. Okay. So, oh yeah, that's yours. Yeah, I know. I gave it to you. So, what you guys have in front of you is an example of the mechanics that my game CleanStream will have. I talked a while back about it, but some things have changed on it, so I'll just cover things again. So, all the rules are at the top of your sheet, and I'll go through some examples of them later on the next slide. But streams start at the edge of hexagons or the vertices, and then the streams run along the sides of each hexagon, connecting. And your goal is to connect up as many triangles on that one stream as possible. Streams can flow as far as they want, as long as they don't go up in altitude. The altitude numbers are written on the hexagon, and each edge of the stream is actually the sum of those two numbers. So you could be between a 1 hexagon and a 3 hexagon, and then it'd be 4. So you couldn't increase in altitude, but depending on where you start, you could be between a 5 and a 4, and then just have a whole lot of range to go. Altitude is the sum of the 2 hexagons. Streams can start anywhere on it, just probably start higher up. And streams end whenever they want. The edge of the games will not be able to be traversed, so you can't go off to either the right side or the left side of the page. And the white at the top of the sheet is ocean, so that's where you end it. The farthest, you get 1 point for each triangle that you connect, and the max I've found is 7, and there's multiple 6s, 5s, 4s, and so on. If you want to go to the next slide. Just to rehash, so one example of not going up in altitude, if you're between a 3 and a 4 on that edge, and then go to a 2 and a 4, you cannot go to the 3 to 4 one, so you can't flow this way, but you can go between the 2 and the 3, because you're decreasing from a 6 to a 5. It works out that no matter what, you're always staying next to 1 hexagon of the same altitude. So between a 2 and a 4, the 2 stays there, you're just decreasing 1. And on all these edges that are within the black region or the same altitude. They're all 2 2s and such and so forth. Actually, since you guys have all the rules, I'll just leave that up if you guys want to start on it, or just, yeah, work on it when you want.
Listen. If you don't,
Yeah, and then just
don't.
bring them back to me at the end of it. And if you want them to spare, I can always give you
I
one.
have made 15 rivers, 1 segment long. Is that okay? Because it still gets you 15
Oh.
points. It still gets you 15 points.
You can only make one
God
river.
damn it, Ryan.
One river,
That changes everything.
one river with the most triangle.
Hey, you know what? It's not in the rules, so it's allowed.
Yeah.
Hey, I am the rules. Look at me. I am the rules now. I am the rules. If it was free, I would own it and jack up the price of it, okay? If it was
He just
free.
said there's only one river.
Yeah.
So it has to be. Is it solvable? Is it possible?
You can't connect all 15.
Oh.
Poor
Unless
Ryan.
you, then I already lost.
No, try and find the 7.
All right.
Yes?
Wait, how do you know?
Huh?
How do you know?
I made this. I am this.
Someone in here is going to be a prodigy, and he's going to figure out how to get all 15, and you're going to be mine.
You made this? I made this.
Nathan, I have a question though. How
Yeah.
long did it take you to make
Double
this?
am.
That's actually the base image that I used to test colors.
Okay.
So I just chose the positioning for the villages or the tribes.
Yeah, but how long?
How long? Wait,
Like 10 minutes did it take? Did it take 14 years? I mean, those are two pretty extreme examples. Okay, cool.
because I had to shade it so it was all gray colors and interesting.
That's fair.
All right.
Yeah.
I actually want to say something about this.
Sure.
So he can go first.
Yeah.
He wrote his hand.
Did you get the
He's
7?
already done.
Did you get the 7?
Oh, is it the high score? I'll do 8.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Ryan said this.
Hmm?
It's kind of cool.
I
did 15.
I didn't realize. I thought when it said white is ocean, I thought every one that didn't have a number was ocean. So I was like, oh, I can't go into those, and I can't go into. Why is there a village in the ocean? I was so
It's
confused.
the sea people. No, he can't read.
I'm just stupid. Like that's just
Did
it.
you ever do those paint by number books as a kid? Because I think it would really help you here.
The 5 is black.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
The 1s are white, the 2s are white, the 3s are white, the
Yep.
4s are white, the 5s are black. That's
Right, because you don't see color, except apparently you do at the end there.
it. There's white, there's 20% gray, there's 40% gray, there's 60% gray, 80% in black.
2%, because it's all about.
No, bullshit.
It's all about
All right. So look at that, work on it, or do it after, do whatever you want.
I just want to point
can't do
out
anything.
that this is a really good way to prototype your game. I asked Nate because how long it took. He said like an hour, which is great.
There's multiple
Just go with it. It took an hour, you said. So it took an hour to actually program this and like actually test it out and see like if it's fun, I guess, or working. Thank you. Takes a bit more than an hour. So like you could take this really simple thing in an hour and just be like, all right, can I actually do this? Is it fun? Do the mechanics make sense? Like you've laid out all the rules. Like are there rules missing? Like for example, there can only one river. Might be worth something mentioning. So just saying. No, it's fine. But then at the same time, like it's a lot harder to actually program it after you've done all this work and you're like, oh, now it's just this heap of mess and stuff. So it's kind of hard to change it as you go on here. So this is good, is what I'm saying. Good job, Nathan.
Also,
I want to clap for you.
Woo! Woo!
All right, back to work.
Also, tell me if you guys think it was fun or if something should be changed.
I think we should have 15 rivers. Still on that.
Of one side.
Yes.
I don't think that's how rivers.
I like.
Font for the title?
What are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying stencil fonts are
No,
great
no,
and all, but
you're right. No, you're right. You're right. Comic Sans or go home. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Comic Sans or go home. That's how it goes.
Yellow Comic Sans.
Yellow Comic Sans on white,
Black and white.
black highlight,
That's what I meant.
white background.
Yeah.
Yellow Comic Sans.
Perfect.
And it,
But then
yeah,
you can read it.
I didn't consider this.
No one wants to read Comic Sans.
It's
I
it's
love comics.
it's dark brown on black. All right. That's it.
Dark brown, black highlight. No, black on dark brown.
What's right in wing?
On dark brown paper.
Wingdings is the way to go. You're right. When are they going to come up with a Comic Sans Wingdings version?
Isn't that what dings?
What is wrong with him?
He is a visionary.
Nothing? What? All right. So today at this meeting, I wanted to talk about UI, which is something that isn't really considered a lot in games until you're actually making it, and then suddenly it's like, oh shit, people need to actually see things on the screen, which is important. I know, right? So, yeah, right? So first of all, that's Braille screens. Come on, get with it. So first of all, what is UI? UI stands for user interface, and it's basically what the player can use to get information from the game. So if you're playing a first-person shooter, it's the health above you or in the corner somewhere. It's your ammo. It's the weapon you're using. It's the equipment you have, your little map radar thing that changes depending on what game. Anything like that is UI, and it also means menus, which I know are the most fun thing to talk about and really excited. They're not, which is why I mentioned the boring stuff, menus. We're going to start with menus. Apparently Zach's just really excited for menus, so he's the one.
I actually like the concept of menus.
It's just
making.
yeah, exactly.
I like the idea of menus, but
I like the idea of working for a living, but like, oh my god, fuck that.
I like the idea of actually doing things, but I don't know.
So basically, what you want a menu to do is to show the basics. The first thing you want is for it to display what you need to see, real simple like. So Dark Souls has a pretty good example of not being too overwhelming, because you can see that on the left you have all the equipment, that's it, and you can easily switch back and forth with them, and then the stats are on the right. It doesn't show you your character model, it doesn't show you what color eyes you have, it doesn't show you your birthday. You don't need that there. Well, but that's why you make secondary menus. You're just trying to get the most basic things on there.
Dark Souls driver's license.
Yeah.
Are you a donor?
You also want them to be easy to navigate. This is the Skyrim menu. If you've played Skyrim, you know that the menu's fucking bad and it's really obnoxious. No.
On console, I can be very. On console, this could work.
All right.
On PC.
On PC, how's that?
You can download a mod.
It's not easy to navigate, and it's not ideal. So you want something that is, I mean, this is a cool menu, I won't lie, but it's just obnoxious to try and find some things. All right?
Driver's license.
Yeah. Which one is that in, huh? Did you put your driver's license in your items? Or is it on your skill tree?
I just realized this is
Or do you
backwards.
use it with your map?
Is this backwards? Aren't items on the left?
Unless you use Sky UI.
Sorry, I just went through like a crisis.
That was reversed.
No. What? No. Okay.
Princess reference.
I didn't get it, so there it is. And there's another thing that you have to worry about menus is that you don't want your game to be reliant on them. Does anybody recognize what this is and what this is from? What is it from? Anybody? It's from the first Pokemon. This might be missing you guys because some of you guys are probably too young for this, I guess, if you didn't play the first Pokemon, the very first. When you wanted to get on the bike, you had to open up the menu, go to the items, find the bike, click the bike, go on it. When you wanted to get off, you had to open up the menu, go to the items, find the bike, click on it.
There's a time and place for everything.
Yeah, there's a time and place. It was not ideal. It was, it was in key items. But you had multiple key items, and there was no nice menu. You had 4 options, and you just had to scroll.
They fix that in the new recent ones.
Yes, they have, because, what? I think that was 3rd edition, or third generation. And that's what I was going to mention. By adding the register function, by adding just a way to basically hotkey something that was reliant on the menu, they completely removed that complaint. So thinking about, okay, what the thing you have to remember with menus is the player is going to be using it a million times throughout. So if you make it obnoxious at all, people are going to hate it. Some people have complaints with the Fallout menu of having to pull up your Pip-Boy, even though that's like the coolest menu ever. It takes like half a second, but it takes half a second every single time. And if you're constantly pausing and you play the game for 8 hours straight, you're going to notice. So basically just menus are boring. Fuck you, Zach. They're boring.
It is so cool. Is that a good menu?
Okay.
I understand.
Yes, a good menu is cool, but it's something that basically all you're trying to do is show the basics, make it easy to navigate, and don't make it so you always have to use the menu. Breath of the Wild, if you guys have played it, if you get a decent amount of armor, it becomes a real big... I'm not spoiling literally anything.
It's coming next week. Okay. Wait.
Armor, if you're trying to equip it, all the weapons and shields and everything have a hotkey, have a directional button, but armor doesn't. And when you get a lot of armor, you end up switching between it a lot, and it becomes a pain in the ass to pull it up and constantly do it. And you can't even equip multiple pieces at once. You have to hit each one twice to select it, then hit equip, which is sorry. It's
It brings you, it's a more immersion though, because that's how inconvenient it would be to switch your clothes every 5 seconds.
I mean, you're not wrong, but no. So you want to make it so that the menu, basically your goal with menus is to make it look nice and to work, basically, to do what the player wants and not be obstructive and obnoxious. So what do you guys think about this menu? It's from Oblivion. Who here has not played Oblivion?
I haven't played Skyrim. Not even I played Skyrim. Even if it was only like the first part.
I thought Oblivion was a lot more.
Yeah, same. I figured a lot more people played Potato Face. Because that's what Oblivion is, Potato Face. Yeah. So looking at this, what do you guys think? What are some positives? What are some negatives? Just face value. What works, what doesn't? What do you think?
I can immediately think of one major positive and one major negative.
Okay.
One major positive is that they are able to deliver a lot of information at once. The major negative is they're doing it using symbols a little bit too much.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. Looking at hand and heart thing. What is heart thing?
I think that's an axe, but it's not.
Is
where
that
the
an
weapons
axe?
are. It looks like an axe.
No. Here. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? I've played this game a lot. I still don't know what that is. It was just a thing. You just had to know what it did.
Is it just decoration, or is it actually?
No, it's a thing.
It is a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't it like your skills menu?
It's like magic and whatnot, but
I think the fact that we're having this conversation says that this is not a good UI.
yes. What's up?
Zach concurs.
So another pro and con. Pro, I mean, it might seem a bit much to show a potato face here in the menu, but what it does do is it easily shows you everything that you're carrying at the moment. What
Yep.
it doesn't do, however, is show you everything, and also there are probably better ways to show
Yep.
that, say like maybe show the item names, so you know what exactly you have equipped. And also, why is your compass on the bottom? In the bottom right there of the menu, your compass is there.
That's what we're asking.
Somewhere else, like when you're.
I mean, where would you put it?
maybe at the top.
Just Skyrim people.
What really confuses me about the compass is that it almost looks like something you'd see in a jet.
Yeah, a little bit. It looks like an instrument.
Because it's a bar.
Cole, you've been.
For a pro, I will say I can read what's on the screen. That's nice.
Yes.
The UIs are really overly pretty, and I have no idea what the hell anything's saying.
Yep.
And I also, it's a pro and a con that you can see your character while you're making things. Because what your character looks like is very fucking important. I don't want to wear armor that looks like shit.
True. I mean, in a first-person game, but yeah.
It doesn't give you very good information of what the actual items. Like I can get like that's a cloth that looks like a staff. Like
What they look like outside.
Yeah.
It gets the job done, but it's not.
The tutorial level, I was over encumbered and I had no idea how to drop items. So, because that didn't really tell me how to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't have any buttons on screen. What's up?
I was gonna say, I mean, on the right side of it makes it pretty easy to compare like the stats of an item. But if you have a lot of items, like you usually end up with games like these where you just like hoard everything you gather.
Yeah.
It makes it easy. Like it becomes hard to like, how do I compare that club to something that's way down at the bottom of the list? Because it's like, okay, I gotta read through it, memorize what its stats are, go all the way down.
Yep.
Look at that.
That's actually yeah.
Every single item.
That's actually one of the major problems people have with this UI is that it only displays 6 items at once. In an Elder Scrolls game, when you're hoarding everything you see, including paper on the ground, I mean, whatever, you need to be able to see items and compare them from the menu, and this just doesn't show that much. And actually, a lot of the screen is just not being used. I think 21% of the screen is the actual items and the menu. The rest is just empty, basically. I mean, there's the player, but the player can take up a lot less space than that and still show plenty.
I feel like this should have been said like 5 minutes ago. But like one pro is that it doesn't really feel like it takes you out of the action because like if you pause it, it doesn't take very long to come up and just rotates the camera around to show your character.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think it rotates your character, does it? I think it just shows your character.
I don't remember. Honestly, it's been a while since I've
Yeah, right.
I don't remember what happened.
What's up?
when I paused.
Last one.
I feel like the resource bars are pretty important, and the fact that they're that tiny is kind of a big no-no.
Yeah. Actually, something I just noticed, I can't tell the difference between the red and the green. I think that is.
That's colorblind, yeah.
I'm just saying, remember to take into account people that are colorblind when you're making games.
That's why red is on top and green is on bottom.
Well, I know. Well, I know. But I'm saying they could have picked a different. Fuck you. No, you're right. You're right.
Think about that.
Yeah, think about it. Think about it. Yeah. That's yeah. That is a better situation than it could have been.
When designing things that use color. Know your audience.
Yeah, definitely. So that was menus. Hooey. Now it's the more funner stuff. Yeah, fair enough. So this is the more funner stuff. The HUD. Basically, in-game, what are you seeing? So first of all, I got to show like the greatest HUD, just in general. It's Dead Space. Yeah. So Dead Space had a really, really unique UI in that it didn't really exist on the screen. It was all spatial in-game. If you pulled up a menu, it was a hologram in front of your character. Your health is this spine thing. That's your health. This is your stamina? Sort of thing?
It's your magic power.
I didn't play it. I'm sorry. Yeah, basically, yeah. So the resources are on the back of the player so you can see it. You don't even have a crosshair. Your weapons have laser pointers, basically, that let you know where you're aiming. And it was a really interesting UI because players completely forgot that they were in a game because it was completely immersive, that you don't even... I mean, this looks like it's from a video. This doesn't look like it's from gameplay. But why did we not turn off the lights? 30... Oh, my God. One of them? Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. So by putting in a heads-up display that isn't really a heads-up display, it's not something that is sitting on the side of your screen that you're constantly seeing, it's something that's part of the world, it really makes the game a lot more immersive and it doesn't really jar people out of playing. When you're playing and suddenly a little blurb pops up that says, you just picked up a cricket. Sorry, I was playing Breath of the Wild. Yeah, exactly. When it pops that up, it brings you out of the game because suddenly you're seeing something that wasn't in the game, it was something on the screen. So Dead Space did a really good job with that. So I have my patented 3 steps to working on a HUD. It's Real complicated, real complicated. First step, you list what needs to be shown. Any order, just put it down as this needs to be on the screen for sure. Second is to create a priority ranking. Say, okay, what is the most important of these? Usually health is pretty high up there. Then things like ammo
I'd
and...
rather see how much my sword I'm currently wielding is worth.
Oh yeah, totally.
At all times. I didn't need to know.
Big money symbol in the middle, health's in the corner. That's exactly it. And then finally, sketch it. Absolutely make sure to draw it out. Don't sit there for hours making it digitally and then realize, wow, that is hard to see. Oh God. Try to sketch it up, try to get an idea of what it would look like. So I did my own version, which wasn't that good. But it's kind of eh. So this is what I did. I was making just the most generic garbage FPS ever, basically. And so I said, okay, I'm going to need health for the player to know when I'm dying, ammo so I can tell if I'm going to continue killing things or if I'm going to run away, a map for enemies, equipped items so I know what I'm actually using, and a reticle, which I almost forgot to include. You need a reticle. You need to see where you're aiming.
You don't need any of that. Just guess.
You can just guess. Yeah. So you can tell that I forgot reticle for a bit. So priority ranking. So I put it in as the reticle's the most important. What, Zach? Is it?
You're right. You're like, you can see I thought about reticle afterwards.
Yeah. So reticle I wanted as number one, right in the center. Player needs to see that. Next, the player needs to see their health, then their ammo, items, and map. And then I made a really simple sketch showing it, basically building it in that order. So the first thing I did was create the reticle right in the center of the screen. The next thing I did is if the player looks down a bit, they can see their health. I put their ammo in the corner because I would next move over there. And I put equipment here and here, sort of on the side, and then finally the map in the other corner. And if I had not done that priority ranking, I might have been really convinced I wanted to put the gun at the bottom and the map in the top right. And if I hadn't done the priority, I would have mixed up some stuff and health would have been in the corner where I can't see it and people would be dying without knowing. So this is sort of my 3-step thing because I couldn't find any sort of step guide online. So I was like, here you go.
I feel like we talked about this at the meeting. I told you my steps, and that was basically it. So.
Oh. I did not.
So
I didn't remember that.
I mean, yeah, it's basically the same thing.
What's up?
So, will your health be great from both sides or one side?
It's gonna go.
It's going to go top down. Genius.
Just a number.
It's just a number.
Not a bar.
It's a number, and dead is negative 346, and full health is 1 billion. So good luck.
It's in binary.
And it's in Please don't do that. Please don't make your game like that.
Makes up the entirety of the
Oh my goodness.
So
You have to see what's going on behind the ones and zeros.
That are red, that are binary.
all right. So that's sort of the 3-step plan that I did. So here's some things to keep in mind when you're designing a HUD. So first of all, you don't want to distract the player. This is a screen from World of Warcraft.
I
Wow.
know that anyone that has that screen up knows exactly what's
Oh no, they definitely know exactly what's going on. This isn't really that good of an example because this person definitely chose to do it like this so that they could play in the most efficient way. But if your screen looks like this, don't make your screen look like this. Oh my God. This is not a... Yeah, this is console. Yeah, totally.
This is a Switch, actually.
See the chat bar on the lower
No, this is...
You type in there using the joystick.
This was Game Boy Color. Good luck. Which pixel's Gandalf? So, absolutely make sure you're not overwhelming the player. You don't need all of the information in the world on the HUD. You need what they need to know during gameplay directly. Another example I had was in Metro. When you're switching weapons, it shows you this neat little sub-menu, which is great. But if you do the hardcore mode, it removes the UI because it's real hardcore and stuff, but you can't even pull up the change weapons thing. So unless you've memorized which ways change the weapons, you just can't. Which, don't do that. Don't, seriously. Even though this is a challenge. I know, but if you can't even change weapons because the UI is what you need. Okay, how about this? How about this? When you're making your game not hardcore mode, don't do this.
That's a good.
All right, fair enough? Okay, cool.
So
I'm still gonna
you
do
don't
it.
get to look at yourself in a first-person shooter, so you gotta compensate.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't distract the player, but make sure to actually put things in it. Make sure to include the things that they need to know.
There was this UI I heard about a while ago. It was I forget what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
But really, Alone in the Dark, that's it. No, that's not one. It was Alone in the Dark for the Xbox. It was a garbage game, don't get me wrong. But to pull up items, what it would do is, your guy would open up his coat, and then each of the things would be in their own little pocket.
Oh, okay.
So, like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think, like, even though it was kind of at the expense of knowing what was going on, do you think, like,
I mean,
HUDs are worth that?
it depends on how it works. Because if you're switching weapons constantly and you have to do that every time, that can get really obnoxious really quick. But at the same time, it's a pretty cool UI. So I would imagine that in a situation like that, unless it was pretty quick and it wasn't really intrusive to like gameplay, I feel like it would be interesting for the first hour or so that you open it, and then it would start to get pretty obnoxious.
So, not a good idea then?
Well, I mean, if it's done right, if it's quick and if it's not completely obnoxious.
This is where you get other people to actually test your UI and get feedback from other people.
Yep.
That's pretty big in UI.
Oh, yeah.
Because what you think and what other people think will be different. I'm not going to pretend to say it's not going to be different. It's going to be different. And pretty much just make the best decision off all the different opinions you get.
Yeah,
That's all I can say.
I gotta speed up. So, yeah, here was some ideas that I have, or that I didn't come up with these. These are some ideas for helping a UI So, I want you to look. This is really, really bad frame rate on the projector, but I want you to look at what the health is doing in this game. What is it doing? It's going down. When that's in the corner of the screen and there's 80 enemies on the screen, it's not very easy to see the little red orbs get smaller, and that's it. There's not a lot directing your attention there, and that's why people who make hardcore characters die in a blink without even realizing it. A better example of this is Breath of the Wild. Cover your eyes, Cole. Cole, you can't see this. So if you notice, what happens when the player takes damage? Even though the health is smaller in this game. What do the hearts do? They turn from red to white, and then they disappear. So what this does is, if you're fighting an enemy and suddenly your whole health bar turns white out of the corner of your eye, oh God, you're dead. You just got hit really hard. And so it's much easier to see without looking directly at your health what's happening, so that you can... What's up, Zach? What are you doing? Yeah, your player does flash red. But it's something that's so small that it just looks like, ooh, what a pretty animation. But it's actually really important. That's why a lot of MOBAs actually will have your health turn, if it's like damage over time or just damage, your health turns red, the portion that's being lost, and then it disappears, so that you can easily see which part you're losing. So that's something that you can look at, that it's not always about exactly what's on the screen. You can also take into consideration how things will change and how they'll work.
I just want to point out that this isn't found on Google. This is actual Jacob's gameplay.
Totally.
Yep. Really?
Yes.
This actually just happened.
Yeah.
You had it over spring break, and you still only have 3 arcs.
Well, this is my 8th game. Give me a break.
He's dealing with a 3-heart run.
You know the speed run for that game is like 40 minutes. Okay, never mind.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Spoilers, you'll be beaten.
It's what?
Wait,
All right, listen for a moment.
I thought this was an anime. Okay.
Is there actually a sound to this?
Pretty much everybody knows what that is because when you lose your shield in Halo, it plays an extremely iconic sound. Like, yes, the red lights flash, but what you immediately know that, oh no, I'm hit, I'm going to die soon, is the beep, 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 beep sound. And so don't forget that, like, visually, you want your UI elements to be really obvious, but you can also do things like add sounds, add effects like with the hearts, that you can make it more obvious. So don't just make a stale UI, try to make it more interesting and give more feedback on it.
Player feedback is good, and feedback can come in many different shapes
Yep.
and forms.
I mean, this isn't technically UI, the sound, but they didn't need to focus as much on the health because they had such an iconic thing. What?
And just on the visual UI itself, I like it because everything's really opaque, so it's not in the way. But
Yep.
there's a lot of information. Like there's even directional for damage.
Yep.
Where you can see what's going on.
Absolutely. What time is it?
It's right there.
No, it's not. Yeah, okay, thank you. So this might go a little bit longer than I was planning. I guess I went a little bit slow. So we're going to do an activity. So, oh boy, activity time. So I want you guys to get in 4 groups, and I'm going to give each group a genre of game.
All of them. Why are you doing it one at a time?
I don't know. And I'm going to give you a genre, and I want you to just make a really general HUD, and you'll come up on the doc cam and just briefly explain what some of the things, why you put some of the things you did, and how you did it. So make sure to mention like, okay, this had most priority, so we put it right in the middle of the screen. Health bar takes up 90% of the screen. Explain what you're doing, even if it's absolutely terrible. Explain. So, who are the groups?
I have no idea.
All right, you're a group.
I handed out piece of paper. If you don't have piece of paper, get by someone who does.
You can do a heads-up display of in-game, you can do a menu, or you can try and do both. And try to do the 3 patented steps of me. You don't have to, but do it anyways.
It'd be nice if you did.
So, whatever. You guys get JRPG,
JRP, oh my god.
so 2D. You guys get a racing game.
2D? Okay.
I need to see what I wrote.
Sorry.
What did you Okay. You guys get a 3D RPG, sort of Skyrim, Dark Souls. It can be 2D, first person, third person. And you guys get a real-time strategy. RTS. Well, just
Just do the basics.
you can
Here's basic outline.
really, really basic. We're talking really basic. Like, here's where selecting buildings would be. Here's where health. I mean,
People are free, buildings are free, everything's free. Just go Egypt. It's the only way to win. You get a pyramid. You get a games like
Have you played Ancient? We can't really draw that paper.
Well, yeah, when it's there, you just
Draw
like,
again. We could mention we need some kind of directional thing.
it's important, but
I mean, like, I guess.
Like what they usually do is they have like
And I get
map here.
Calm your tent. The other one's okay. That's part J.
Well, 17.
Alright, so what do you
I'm super. Player not know what's going on. I'm reading, right? I mean, all the way up to what resource
It's on the last ring, so it's I just finished tracking. I got
You're racing,
and I also read the.
so we just need to make
I did not know what was going on. Okay. What's the
What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
So all remember. And they're like, fucking dead. They're gonna write the thing. How is that gonna help? No, I don't think he said that the Game Boy Advance.
I mean,
Because I'm also gonna say that like, yeah, I think that's one other thing I noticed is just put the
time items here. Oh yeah, that's right. We want to put some.
I was in the middle of saying 14. You can't say 14.
Well, it's 17 now.
Oh, well, I mean 18. Oh my
Give it the
god.
time. It's now 19.
So, also, I'm super confused by general distance right now.
Good. It should be.
I do not know what's going on.
You should.
And I'm playing through it again, right? And I made it all the way to Musketeer, to the Musketeer world.
What number is that?
It's on the last ring, so it's since the Fantasia world. Yeah. I just finished tracking. Yep.
All right, there's 2.5 minutes. Make sure you're starting the actual sketching process.
And I was reading through.
If you haven't, you should be.
More confused. I did not know what was going on.
What are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. Oh, you're doing this. Okay. I was really confused. It's like, do a little jig? Like, go ahead, man.
Okay, coded takes place. You can bring my tripod. So what I'm going to do is put my tripod up to the camera, have this at a different angle, so that I have both of them running 60 degrees, whatever I have.
Yeah. Multiple angles. At least once during every meeting, you need to flip back and forth every frame. So it just, oh God! At least kill 2% of the audience, at least. It's not a good meeting unless someone dies watching it.
No, I know, but
1 minute left.
1 minute.
Read! What?
So all remember.
And then we're like, Jimmy, she just fucking said they're gonna erase the thing. How is that gonna help?
no, I don't think he says that in the Game Boy Advance version.
Okay.
Because I've also noticed some other weird stuff. Like, yeah, I think there was some weird content. Because one other thing that I noticed is everybody talks about how nobody smells.
I think I have seen this.
Smell the darkness. And then Riku's just straight up like, you stink handsome.
It's just like.
I think I have seen that.
Or do you just want to do just have him stand up and be like,
Depends on how long you want to do Gamers Anonymous. Do you mind cutting into it with this? It's 7:59. Okay. Okay.
Just how
Stop it! Oh. I don't like that. Okay. Whoop. Okay.
I'm just gonna say everything is not as
So, who wants to go first? What? I don't think I turned it off.
Yeah, we were talking about boobs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I never turned it off. All right.
Mana decreases when mortal.
Oh god.
Where's boobs? All right, who wants to go first? You can't even.
You gotta. Where's the light?
It's this.
Yeah, but. God, thank you. But why do you turn it on? That's fine.
You're welcome.
So I think what people need to see.
All right, hey, who wants to go first? Somebody stand up. All right, Aiden, get up. You guys are going first. Nobody's. Too bad.
It's a JRPG.
What do you want from me? Like the most complicated menu system.
No, you didn't have to plan out the. You didn't have to plan out the game. You just had to plan out
We
basic.
wanted to go all three.
Basics.
Some things are necessary, all right?
All
Planning
right.
out the game just a little bit.
All right.
Kind of important.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't focus on the game for this. You should focus on what it would.
Just kind of had to happen.
Well, explain what you have.
All right.
I'm seeing a lot of good text, like planning.
Well, for starters, I guess I could show the list first. Part of it.
Okay.
Okay, so is that
You cannot read that.
Is it off screen a little bit?
No, it's fine. Basically, let me. No, not better. Not really.
I was just looking to see if there was maybe off screen, like at the top.
Press harder when you write.
Sorry, I had a 0.5
I can't read that, but whatever.
Sorry.
Just verbally
Okay, so
mention it. And make it pretty brief. We gotta get going.
Yeah, a JRPG is probably one of the more complicated ones since there are three major sets of UI that we should that the developer needs to work on. One is the in-game menu, obviously, and then another is the battle HUD, and then the last is probably the least important. That's the adventure HUD. The in-game menu, you want to be able to thoroughly access pretty much everything there is for you to learn. So we set our highest priority being like the party members and then their individual stats, their skill tree maybe, and maybe a drop down for their equipment. And we also like to have an ability list. Maybe like if you want to heal off combat maybe. And then we also have a full map, because why would you traverse an area without a map? And I think lastly we have a codex / quest log / objectives. For the battle HUD,
Which one did you draw
biggest
out?
priority would be, again, the party members and their names, along with their most major stats like health, mana, and maybe in a more turn-based combat, like when they can have their turn. And that'll all be together pretty much. And then we would also have a moveset and ability menu in a separate corner, and that's going to be a pretty big drop down of lists. And then while you access said menu, we're going to have cursors pointing at in-game elements, so you know what you're going to be healing or attacking. And then
Just jump over to the drawing. Since you guys did the battle one, we should at least see that.
yes, I guess that would be the cursor. And
Yeah.
then when events happen, we want some numbers being thrown out there. So one specific color for damage, a different color for healing.
So what was your number one priority for this screen for what you should have on there? Did you do a priority ranking? Like what was the most important?
Priority ranking, we pretty much did here. We
chose
chose the party member's name and the major
The party
stats
members
health
and the-
as the first priority. And
Okay.
generally speaking, I think we look at the lower right the most
Mhm.
for the more numbers-based stats.
Yep.
Yeah, especially because the enemies are right here. So, like, the enemies have their health bars as well, so you can just like look at the enemies and look at your guys and stuff.
Cool.
It could be the other way around too,
Yeah.
with the monsters on the left and the party members on the right. And it'll still pretty much work essentially. And we read from left to right, so we want the menu to start off from the left.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
An adventure HUD is pretty basic. Minimap, if any, health, if any, trivial elements, if any.
Yep.
None, if you want to go for that.
All right, who's next? All right, go.
I got one.
Ryan's got one.
I made a platformer HUD. Okay, good. It's got, this already went through iterations. I replaced the health bar with hearts.
Okay.
And now I replaced the thing that says time, XXX seconds. I crossed out seconds, I was like, I don't need that. And I was like, I'm just going to put a ship clock. And then down here, it just always has my name as part of the HUD. And that's the entire game. Thank you very much.
Why is your character's neck so long?
Because.
Well, where's their torso? That's my question. Their arms are attached to their legs. That is a starfish, man. Carl, it doesn't have to be done.
It does.
This is like your senior project all over again.
I mean, I don't have one of those.
Well, it should be. This is it then.
I don't know how much of this is on. Oh, there's a screen here.
Yeah. All right. First off, Jacob, fuck you. Making a UI for an RTS. Yeah. You seen Civ 5? No. We're not
How
doing.
do I
Look
zoom
at
out?
this.
Nope, wrong way.
Age of Empires. This is ridiculous.
You didn't.
What?
No, you're good.
Does that not help?
I was just trying to zoom out.
Okay, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we did do a vague river. Yeah, that's good. Priority. Yeah.
Mainstream.
So map being the most necessary thing to look at, or not map, the world. Let me rewrite that.
You don't.
You get it.
Yeah, but I don't get it. The map and resources are kind of equally important. From there, getting unit info, and then lastly, going through like management stuff like that. So the center, you have the kind of game world that you're looking down on. We're kind of going off of like Age of Empires type stuff. In the bottom right, you have all of the resource information, stuff like that, money. Looking at that as being more of a visual representation instead of just a number. So you literally see like the money you have in the bank, and it depletes or raises depending on how much you have. Same with building supplies, food, population, showing like how many people are dead or alive. Map in the bottom left shows you the overall spaces you have. Top right is the menu drop-down space, so you have things like your menu, building types, skills, like a skill tree, diplomacy areas, and that would drop down into this empty space here. And then on the top left shows you like the unit info specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Bar for units being relative to how many you have highlighted.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Cool. What do you mean? What? It's a UI. You don't have to draw the game. You don't even have to draw the game. All right, we got 2 groups left.
They just released it, so I guess
The Switch X.
So I guess our priority first was pretty much replace. I guess we're doing a racing game.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, pretty much the idea was first priority was the place pretty much, and then next was the lap, and we put that up in the corner. We kept things kind of towards the top since in a racing game up here would be mostly the sky, whereas we wouldn't want anything blocking the view of the car. We kind of kept it simple because when you're racing, you're not really, messing around with the HUD or a menu or anything. You're
Yep.
just racing. So, and we kept, we put the speed down in the lower right corner because we didn't think it was super important to see the speed all the time, but maybe it's something that people like to see once in a while.
They
So,
do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As someone who likes racing games, they do.
And and I guess we had the items at the top left just because there is an empty space up there. So
This is actually
Valid reason, I guess.
This is actually a really, really good example of UI design because you really don't need to make it super complicated when you're just designing the layout of what the screen will look like. And this is absolutely perfect. Whereas speed is just, that's where the speed would go. That's all you need, just the positioning of it, not necessarily the exact drawing of literally everything. Not for UI design.
It matters for
Maybe.
it matters for
I,
get the idea across.
all right.
We need the characters.
So,
we can
absolutely.
Good job.
Last group. Yeah.
You also have the list of what we chose.
What?
He's got the list of.
Good
where's the
lord,
list?
what the?
I had.
Did you actually do the UI or just the whole game? Yeah, to be fair, they did have the most time.
That's their priorities list, by the way.
I can sort of read it.
Mini map / compass, character elements, crosshair / directional element, and then 5 the lock-on mechanic, because if you're third person, it gets kind of messy to see like your character amongst like a bunch of others.
Okay.
Z targeting.
So,
Yeah, a little bit, maybe. A little bit. You can see it on the screen down there. There's a little tiny screen that shows you.
Who's the artist? The future is now.
The artist is me.
I've seen
Okay.
your
I
so,
did this. Shut
first
up.
is the resource bars. So we got your health up there. It decreases from that side over. And then we got your mana, which starts in the middle, then decreases that way. And then it comes over there and decreases that way. So like as an example, it just like decreases like that and then decreases like that.
What the hell?
So,
What the?
So, like,
Why would you do
Magicka
that?
full, Magicka at half,
yeah.
and then Magicka at 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
And then
doesn't
you get the
like-
quarters. It flashes when it gets to quarters, because like that's important.
Yeah.
And like most things will cost like a half, a quarter, or a half, because you need those numbers. You need the raw numbers.
Imagine the health.
give the numbers
The
out
health
instead of
starts.
per
It's
bar.
like opposite of Skyrim, where it starts full and then it decreases from the center out, kind of like a black hole.
No, wait, here.
Yeah, like a black hole. That was my first thought.
It starts in the middle, and then the whole bar just shifts towards the edge. No, it starts.
Oh my God, no! Don't make this, please. Don't do that.
No, as you take damage, it tilts to the left. It goes further.
It transforms into a chair. When it's fully a chair, you're dead. But if it's half chair, you're half health.
Wait, no, this is an actual game. It's called IKEA making, and the whole thing ends once you make the chair, and so it has the pieces on the top, and then they form together, kind of like
Oh my
Jenga,
God.
but not.
Oh my God.
Somehow Pikachu.
That's not a game. He has a. Also the lock-on reticle has. Everyone has a drop shadow as usual. That actually helps a lot, especially with jumping, but the best jumping. But the person you're locked onto has sparks coming out of them, and then a neon sign appears over their head saying "attack me." And yeah.
For 1 second, I thought that was good. I was like, oh, I like the shadow. And then you put in the neon sign. Don't do that.
Also, you got the mini map that actually has the positions of these people, and then it
Okay.
shows. That's a car.
It's a car, dude.
That it actually shows you who you're locked onto, and then also you have your how many grenades you've used in the 15th century. Also, you've got your deck in your hand right there.
It's
but-
perfect.
oh,
Makes perfect sense.
you got a deck in a hand right there.
I'm not hiring you. I'm not hiring you.
It's a Castle Crasher.
If I wanted to make a bad game, I can make a bad game by myself.
Your rabbits look like Castle Crash.
All right.
That's a rabbit?
That's,
Man,
no,
I can kind of see it for 8 years. That's not what they look like. What else?
it's like wait.
Anything else?
Cross. That's protection. Character elements. You got a sword. You got a backpack. That's a smelling place. Yeah. It's a good game. It'll be coming out 2017.
I hope it doesn't.
Early 2017. Wait.
I'd play it. Not gonna lie. I'd play it. January 2017. Oh, wait.
Oh shit. Delayed.
All right. So basically with that, I just wanted you guys to look at it as UI elements are something that you should be thinking about, and not just thinking about of what looks pretty, but if the player's looking at it for 8 hours at a time, not at a time, actually maybe at a time. If a player's looking at it for a long time, what is aggravating, what's obnoxious, what works, what doesn't, thinking about it critically, basically, which apparently you guys didn't do.
Shame.
It was an RTS.
Not you, them.
Okay.
They're still working on it. Oh no, that's good. Never mind. Carry on.
So, go forth, make games, and be awesome, guys. Thanks for coming.
Don't forget, there's a workshop on Saturday about UI. Okay, now we clap.
And it'll be even better than this meeting. Totally.